For instance, that I talked about a lot of different territory. The bottom line, as I said, the most important thing, we're going to bring more plants into your state and this country to make automobiles. We're going to be bigger than before. And there's a lot of them out there. You know, for a town hall, there's a lot of people. But the fake news likes to say, oh, he was rambling. No, that's not rambling. That's genius when you can connect to that. You got a problem. But every dot was connected and many stories were told in that little paragraph. But there is something, but they say that. The other thing I say is this. We had 107,000 people show up in New Jersey. We had 68,000 people show up in Alabama. We had 79 or 81,000 in South Carolina. And they never said I'm a great speaker. And I said, am I a great speaker? They said, oh no, he rambles. What the hell are all you people showing up for? We don't want to show up for a Thank you very much.
Mr. President, no one has done more to fight for the American worker than you, to bring back jobs and manufacturing to this country. Tonight, there's obviously a lot of people that really care about the auto industry here. And tonight we have a question from one of the auto workers, Isaiah, here in the audience that would like to ask a question.
Sure. Where's Isaiah?
We're building you a new little.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We'll build a brand new beast. We're going to build a beast right now.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President, for having us here tonight. I just want to let you know that I've attended one of your rallies. I did not leave early, and I did not fall asleep. My name is Isaiah. I'm a third-generation UAW worker, working hard to build trucks here in America.
Yes.
I work for Ford. You came and visited the plant that I work at. You did. And my question to you, sir, is what do you see as the major threats to the future of Michigan manufacturing auto working jobs, and what will you do to eliminate those threats, sir?
Okay, so I'll get into another little bit of a long answer, because when you say major threat, to me we have one really major threat that's called nuclear weapons. We have other countries that are, I always say if you have a smart president, you'll never have a problem with China, Russia, or any of them, okay? I got along great with Putin, I got along great with President Xi, I got along great with Kim Jong-un of North Korea. Everybody said, oh, you can't get along with him. He liked me, I got along great with him, and he has a lot of nuclear force. But you essentially have 5 countries, and you're gonna have more. Whether you like it or not, you're gonna have more. It's the single biggest threat to the world, not only Michigan, to the world. And you're not gonna care so much about making cars if that stuff starts happening. And we have people that are not good at negotiation. The war should have never happened. President Biden, I want to be nice. Yeah, he was so nice to me yesterday, but you know, in one way, I sort of wish the call wasn't made, because I do feel he's so nice. I'm so sorry about what happened and all that, but I have to lay it out. We have very important, and the same with Kamala today. She could not have been nicer. But the fact is, we have to have people that are respected by the opponent, by the other side, by other countries that have this. Even Pakistan has nuclear weapons. We have countries, India has a lot of nuclear force. We have countries that have tremendous nuclear power. And when I hear these people talking about global warming, that's the global warming you have to worry about. Not that the ocean's going to rise in 400 years an eighth of an inch and all seafront property, right, if that happens. I said, is that good or bad? I said, isn't that a good thing? If I have a little property on the ocean, I have a little bit more property, I have a little bit more ocean. But the fact is that it's a tremendous problem, and we are closer to World War III today than we've ever been. And The difference is, and I say this a lot, this isn't army tanks going back and forth and shooting at each other. This is obliteration. The power of these weapons, and I'm the one that revived it, and I hated to do it, but you know, we had stuff that was 48 years old. They didn't even know if it worked. We have incredible stuff, so does Russia. China has much less, but they're gonna catch up over 4 or 5 years. It's the single biggest threat by far to civilization, and nobody talks about it. They talk about global warming. Used to be, remember? Used to be global warming. You know, they changed the name. You know why? Because the planet's getting cooler now. So now what they call it is climate change, because that covers everything. See, climate change, if it gets hot, cool, you know, these people, I don't know if they're for real, but if they're not, they're covered by the words climate change. If it gets cooler, that's good. If it gets hotter, that's good. Global warming wasn't working so well. But the single biggest threat, okay, now let's assume we have a really smart president, and that's not going to be a threat because we have a lot of power. Doing business with China is a good thing, but you have to have a fair deal. Doing business with Russia, they have so much in terms of minerals and things. The size of their land mass is like 4 times bigger than the United States. The minerals and things they have, we could do great business, and you keep everybody happy. You can solve that problem. But let's talk about the local problem. The local problem is that you have countries stealing your business. Mexico is a very big one. Mexico, this year we have a deficit with Mexico of $250 billion. Think of this. With Mexico, little Mexico, you think of it as a little innocent place. We're losing our ass to Mexico. China, you don't even have to talk about. We have over $1 trillion this year. I was charging them numbers that were unbelievable, and now he's just totally given up the ghost. And we're going to lose $1 trillion in deficits to China. $1 trillion. That's not sustainable. We're going to turn it all around, and we're going to do it through taxation and tariffs. It will be done in 24 hours, and it'll change the whole planet. Just so you know, Sarah, China became powerful because they charge. They don't call them tariffs. They call it a tax. They don't call it tariffs. The word tariff is a beautiful word to me, but to a lot of people that don't understand, it's not a beautiful word, because you have a lot of people that are paid off by these countries. They're taking care of these countries, and they don't care about destroying the United States. They want millions of dollars in fees and consultation, but we will, literally in a period of 24 hours, we can change the whole trading of the whole world. They've taken advantage of our country for years. I stopped it. I stopped so much of it.
Yeah.
And then we had a focus on COVID, which a lot of people said was put in there for a reason. You know, it came out of the Wuhan lab, which I said right from the beginning. All you know, it didn't come out of a cave. They said a cave. It didn't come from France. They blame France. They blame. I call it the China virus because I like to be accurate. You know. They call it the Spanish flu. They call it all different names when something comes from a country. Except for China, we have to call it COVID. What the hell does COVID mean? The China virus. And a lot of people think they did that because they were not happy with me as president. I actually had a great relationship with President Xi, and in his own way, he probably liked me the most, but maybe or maybe not. I saw that Putin the other day endorsed Kamala. And you have to understand, these are major chess players. So when he endorses Kamala, he may say, well, I did that because I love you and it's better to be doing it. So who knows? But he endorsed Kamala, which is a little unusual. I was watching, I said, it's interesting. I think it's a good thing, isn't it? It really is. But look, we have to turn it around if we can. We're going to have a reciprocal trade tax. We're going to have so if China charges 152%, which they do in a car, if we sell a car made here into China, which you don't do because the tax is too high, they say to all your companies and to others and to Elon Musk, who gave us, he is a great guy. He gave you the strongest endorsement. And he's a really wonderful guy. But they say to him, we don't want your car unless you build your plant in China. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. That's smart people say that. We haven't said it for many years. I said it. We have a lot of plants going up with Apple and other things. I said, you got to build plants. You don't build plants here, we're going to put the tariffs on your products coming in from China. So we can do it quickly, but we're going to have what's called the Reciprocal Trade Act. Now, I dealt with a senator, a very good senator actually, but he knows nothing about trade. I said, here's what I want to do, Senator. I want to take the reciprocal trade. If they charge us 100%, we charge them 100%. He said, you mean they charge us, we charge them? You got me. How simple could it be?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't care.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
a senator,
yeah.
doesn't care about trade, but, you know.
Yeah.
So we're going to call it the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act, or
Yeah.
I'll leave the name Trump off as long as we do it. So when India, which is a very big abuser, he happens to be coming to meet me next week, and Modi is fantastic. I mean, fantastic man. A lot of these leaders are fantastic. You have to
Yeah.
understand one thing. They're 100%. These people are the sharpest people. They're not a little bit backward. They are at the top. You know the expression, they're at the top of their game, and they use it against us. But India is very tough, Brazil is very tough. There are certain countries, I can tell you every one, I can give you from top to bottom. China is the toughest of all, but we were taking care of China with the tariffs. So we're going to do a reciprocal trade. If anybody charges us 10 cents, if they charge us $2, if they charge us 100%, 250, we charge them the same thing. And you know what's going to happen? Everything's going to disappear, and we're going to end up having free trade. And if it doesn't disappear, we're going to take in a lot of money. Okay? But you know, the biggest beneficiary, I believe, is going to be your state. And I won't say that to other states, I promise, about your state. You are going to have plants built at a level that you haven't seen in 50 years.
Mr. President, one of the other things I think that you did that helped protect the American worker as much as anything else, and also make our country and our communities safer, was you actually did something about the border. Just this month, there was a woman in my home state of Arkansas who was killed by an illegal immigrant who was drunk driving, that was deported during your administration and came back under this administration because they have failed to protect our country. It's one of the great threats that we face that you actually did something about. Tell us what you will do on day one to help protect our
So
country.
we're going to be, day one, we're doing two things. Closing the border and drill baby. Thank you. So, over the last couple of years I've been talking about the border. I got elected in 2016 because of the border. But that border was peanuts compared to what this border is. That border was like a safe border compared. And I did it, I did a great job, and it also includes drugs, came to a much lower, look,